welcome back to my channel. It's Tiara. So I'm coming to you guys with another book review, and this entire review will be spoil free. I won't be doing the spoiler section just because there's not really a lot to talk about in the spoiler section, so I'm just going to be doing a full book review void of spoilers. And that is for the first book that I completed for my summer TBR, and that is The Hidden Oracle by Rick Riordan in the Trials of Apollo series. And I really enjoyed the book. I believe I gave it a, I don't know what my review was. Let me check my Goodreads real quick. Turns out I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars, really a 3.5, but on Goodreads you can't really do that. And I don't know, I really did enjoy the book, just for my personal thoughts. I really did enjoy it. It was very, like, nostalgic of reading of Percy Jackson, and then also after the Percy Jackson and Jason series, and we're back in that world, and it really gave me a lot of feels, but I also wasn't as excited about it as when I read, you know, Percy Jackson or the Jason series, just because when I was reading them, like, I was just, like, so enthralled, and I was ready for the next book, and I wanted to know what happened next. But then with this one, it just kind of, like, was less exciting and more nostalgic than anything. But still, the book was good. It was a very good story. It has a good plot twist, and yes, so let's talk about this overall review. So we follow Apollo, and this is after the end of, like, the Jason series. I keep calling it the Jason series, but that's not what it's called. But it's the kind of second series of Percy Jackson where we learn about, like, the Roman mythology, and we meet Jason and all of that. Oh! And it is after the whole battle with Gia, or I don't know how to pronounce that god's name, but if you guys read that series, it happens after that. And Apollo did some not good things during that battle, so he's being punished now by Zeus, and his god-like abilities and powers have been taken away from him, and he is now a mere mortal, and he has to live in the world. And basically Zeus does this to discipline his children, and so what has to happen is he meets a demigod, and he becomes in contract with them, and then he does a series of tasks and shows that he's ready to be a god again, and then Zeus gives him back his godly powers. So that's basically what Apollo has to do. He explains how this has happened twice in his lifetime before, so this is his third time, and he becomes in contract with a girl named Meg, and she turns out to be, again, a demigod, and she is a daughter of Demeter. So that is not someone that we meet a lot in the past books about Greek and Roman mythology, so it's very interesting. And if you guys don't know who Demeter is, she is the goddess of, like, farming and earth and trees and stuff, and she is the mother of Persephone, who was the one, she was stolen from Demeter and brought into hell to be Hades' wife. So yeah, if you don't know that little part of Greek mythology, that's a little background. And so Meg is also a daughter of Demeter, and so Meg has some secrets, and later, you know, when you read it, you'll find out the interesting secrets. But basically, they make it to Camp Half-Blood with the help of Percy, and it's exciting to see Percy again, and the camp is kind of empty. There's not a lot of people there. You know, Annabelle's in school, Percy's in school right now. You know, people are just, they get to the camp and people have been disappearing from it, and, you know, it's just very weird. They don't know what's going on. Rachel Dare, again, if you remember her from the past books, from the other books, she is the Oracle of Delphi right now, and basically what's happening is the oracles are broken, and no one can communicate with each other. So Rachel Dare can't see any more prophecies, which means the demigods can't go on quests, because they can't go on quests without a prophecy, and all the oracles are just not working. They can't send rainbow messages, phone calls. Bad things are just happening. Like, no one can communicate with each other, and also students are disappearing into thin air. So another one of the characters that we meet who is an old character is Nico D'Angelo, so there's also a lot of, you know, nostalgic feels from that. Getting to see Nico and him having a boyfriend, and it's just really interesting, and it's super cute. And also this book was very, very, I wouldn't say political, because this is also part of Greek mythology, that the gods, you know, loved whoever, they didn't care, there wasn't, oh, you're gay, and oh, you're straight, like, none of that mattered. In Greek mythology, like, if you look at the actual Greek mythology of Apollo, he did have a male lover, Hyacinth, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but the flower is named after him. I will write the name here because I don't know how to pronounce it. But yeah, so Apollo kind of talks about those issues, and again, and this all goes into why he is like he is. You know, his first two loves were taken from him. His first true love of, you know, were taken from him. And so basically this book really, like, delves into that, like, it's okay to be gay, and, you know, I'm here for it. You know, Nico has a boyfriend, and Apollo talks about how his one true love was his ex-boyfriend who was murdered, but the murder was, like, his fault. So I really, really loved that, and I think it'll be really great, again, because Percy Jackson is one of those series with male heroines, and a lot of young adult / middle grade books I don't really see a lot with men as the main characters, so I just think this will be really beautiful for, like, any kids in middle school growing up, coming into terms with their sexuality and they're not okay with being gay, to read this book and have that encouragement and love themselves for who they are. So I really, really applaud Rick Riordan for writing that. You know, a lot of people would be angry that he put kind of like sexuality into a middle grade book, but that always happens. You always see couples, like, it doesn't matter. So I just love that he put that in there, because I can just imagine, like, any little boy or even a little girl who, you know, is just, you know, coming in terms with her sexuality at middle school during puberty, and she decides that she likes girls, and if she reads and this boy likes boys, and it's okay for her to like her same sex too. So I just really, really loved that aspect of the book, and it was beautiful. Yeah, so basically Meg and Apollo's task is to get the oracles back, so they have prophecy and they can defeat these this unknown threat. That part isn't, like, kind of a spoiler, so I won't tell you who the threat is, but I think that's my overall review of the book. I don't want to give any spoilers away, but the ending is really, really good, and someone we love and have been missing comes back with a lovely companion. So if you have read the other series, then you'll be very, very excited to see them. If you hadn't, then it just kind of wouldn't make sense to you. So I recommend reading, like, the Percy Jackson series and then the second series with Percy Jackson and Jason, just so you can understand kind of what they're referencing to in the Hidden Oracle from the Charles and Apollo series. But yeah, again, it just wasn't as exciting as the first two series. I'm not, like, dying to read the second book to see what happens. So yeah, that's why I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars, but it still is good, and I think it'll be a great book for those who are in middle grade. And again, I just really, really love the positive messages behind it. So yeah, that's everything I have to say about this video. Wow. That's everything I have to say about this book in this video. Yeah, so like and subscribe, and if you liked it, share with your other friends who like to read, and if they like it, they'll subscribe too, and we'll all become a big happy family. But yeah, so talk to you guys next time. Bye bye.